Here we have a simple JavaScript object and the for-in loop. We can hide the property serial number from being accessed in a for-in loop by calling object.defineProperty, then passing our object, the property name, and finally a property descriptor object with the enumerable flag set to false. And from now on, this serial number property will stop showing up in for-in loops. This is because the for-in loop only iterates over enumerable properties of an object. Here we have a simple clock app. We want to debug which line of code is updating the H3 node with the ID time here. And to do this, we can set a DOM breakpoint by right-clicking on this node, then break on subtree modifications. This way, the debugger will pause the execution next time when the content of this node or its child nodes is modified, and bring us to the line of code that attempts the mutation, so we can start debugging. To remove the breakpoint, we can go back to the Elements tab, then either right-click on the DOM node again to deselect Break on Subtree Modifications, or we can go to DOM breakpoints here. And now we can deactivate that breakpoint or remove it. I use Z shell in my terminal and have configured my command prompt with all my ZSH themes and plugins to be colorful and full of useful information. This is a nice setup for daily use, but can be very distracting for the audience if I use this to teach and to record screencasts. To clear up all these symbols and information only in VS Code but not globally system-wide, we can go to Settings and add a custom environment variable. I'm using macOS, so I'm going to add a new property, terminal integrated env OSX, and a new variable with some random value. This way, when a new terminal is spawned inside VS Code, Z shell can pick up this custom environment variable and realize that it's in VS Code, but not in external standalone terminals like item2. Now let's open our Z shell resource file, zshrc, and add a simple check at the end of the file to handle the case when the terminal is opened in VS Code. Let's set the PS1, the prompt itself, to a single $sign and a space. And now we can save and reload everything, then test it out. As you can see, the command prompt is now a $sign in the VS Code terminal, but I still have the fancy setup in item2.